Good evening, good morning. This is Insomniac Hour. I am tumultuous, Dimitri, whatever you want to call it. It's not crystal clear today, but this is Josh. Selenite. That's right, selling it. We're going to sell it with some crystals today with Josh and Vince.
Well, we're going to talk about crystals and healing, right? Healing, yes. Crystals, and we can get into the mental aspect. We can get into the belief aspect. It's something that I call psychogenetics. So we're going to talk about some really cool, interesting stuff tonight. But look at that thing.
I have a feeling this is not going to be much about crystals, is it?
Oh, no, absolutely.
What is that, tumultuous?
This is a piece of Superman's house. This is where he goes to find his dad and stuff. No, this is actually called selenite. And selenite is a derivative of salt, I believe. It is water soluble. And it's a crystal. And much like all crystals, it is a living thing-ish. I just watched the video that Josh sent me about how nature makes matter out of, through crystals, I guess. I'm going to put this giant thing down. But now, basically, crystals are rocks that are alive. And Josh is going to go into detail about this because this is what I know. I'll tell you what I know.
Well, it's purported that crystals are conscious or aware or alive. Now, in the material universe, they are one of the first self-organizing material structures. Right?
That's it.
How?
Well, so basically, if you grow crystals actually grow like an organism, and they will self-organize. But this was actually a misnomer. You probably learned in high school is that they self-organize. Actually, what they do is they adapt towards various vibrational configurations around them. Marcel Vogel, who was one of the videos that I've been watching and someone I'm very familiar with, he talked about if you sing or hum or provide a vibrational area.
Electricity, right?
Jesus, dude, turn your volume down. Did you just turn your volume up?
How's this?
Loud.
Loud.
How's that?
Loud.
Go. Whatever you did, stop and go back.
Okay.
Revert.
I can't hear you.
You're gonna blow my eardrums out.
I lost my question.
Well, so when we're talking about crystals in the sense of their structure, is they take on some type of vibrational structure that is around them in the material universe. So they grow towards this type of configuration. They grow towards this type of configuration. They grow towards this type of configuration that's inherent within the environment around them. And so Marcel Vogel says is that if you speak to them and you sing to them and you show them love and compassion, it's very similar to what happens with water. Now, an interesting aspect of this is a lot of crystals are growing in water.
Boom. Okay. And are crystal glasses this type of crystal that we're talking about?
Say that again?
A crystal, like, glass?
It's a form of crystal, yeah. Glass is a form of crystal. Glass is actually an interesting piece of matter. Did you know that glass is actually in motion? It's not actually a solid, it's a liquid.
It's a liquid.
Yeah. It's a liquid in very, very slow motion.
Yeah. Have you seen that? How sometimes it'll
they'll distort
glass.
Yeah, they'll distort around matter. So if you leaned a glass up against a step and left it there for 100 years, that glass would be embedded.
It would start dripping
it would,
like that
artist.
Yeah, it
would start dripping around the step.
Who drew the clocks.
Let's wait to talk.
Dude, nope. I don't know what you did, man. Whatever you did, just reverse everything.
Do you have a volume controller thing?
Yes. I can't. How about, what if I just log out and log back in?
Maybe try that, but I don't know what you did. But whatever you did, just your volume went skyrocketing. But yeah, so crystals are amazing type of species. I would look at them as consciously aware. We have a member of our community who she had an experience and she was holding the crystal and the crystal shattered on the inside all throughout. And it had nothing to do with force or exposure to the actual crystal. It was literally just like next to her. She was just connected with it, and she had something emotional. Magical. Yeah. These things are like, you have to wonder, is if you go back to what I talk about as optimization theory, the physical theory of the universe, how things come together, one system feeding into another system, is at certain points, we were talking about this last night, is what point do they self-organize? Do they begin to take over that functioning and control to organize themselves into a certain entity? Tumultuous, how you doing?
I'm well.
There we go, much better.
Oh, thank God.
I fixed it.
I fixed it for you.
All right.
I think that crystal was interfering with some of the electronics here.
Yo, maybe, right? Anyway, glass, liquid.
Nope. What do you? If you move forward, it gets really loud. So just stay back.
Wait.
Okay.
No.
How's that?
I don't know. Is it your mic or something, dude?
It just picked up again. I don't know why.
I'm using the mic on my camera.
Yeah, I would turn the mic on your camera off and use your mic on your computer.
All right.
Yeah. So you got to wonder is when does this transitional point of matter begin to take place, where matter just goes from this gross matter that has maybe and I think that everything has a very basal level of awareness.
Basal, minute.
Yeah, basal, minute, very foundational, very, very porquito, right?
Yeah.
So
thank you for speaking my native language.
But I had to, But so if you think about it, there has to be this point of transition. Like sometimes, like a dog or a cat, you can see that point where, like, man, do they understand me? They could potentially. Maybe they do at certain aspects because they're tipping over that veil of awareness to self-awareness, right? Awareness of my environment as per awareness of the self and the awareness of the self in the external environment.
Yeah, plus I think all objects kind of have that, where places they retain a certain vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right. How's this?
Good.
Okay. I'm just not gonna.
I can tell it's still really loud, but just go ahead.
Really?
I'm gonna lower my mic volume by half.
Yeah.
All right.
Now try.
How about that?
It's your output volume of your Zoom call.
Huh.
It's not your mic volume. It's the output volume of your Zoom call.
I'm so sorry about these technical difficulties.
No, that's all right. But so when we begin to think about it, there has to be that threshold in matter to where it crosses over and has this level of awareness, which we can consider cognizant, I can't even say that word. Cognizant, conscious, aware, self-aware, or at least aware of its awareness. Now, I believe that all matter and energy has to observe, has to have a certain sense of awareness, because if not, you get the ultimate paradox, right? You have to have a dual function of observation.
Good.
You have to have a dual function of observation. In order for me to notice Vince has to notice me. In order for Tumultuous to notice me, I have to notice Tumultuous, right?
Is that why you feel people staring at the back of your head?
That's right. But not only that, it goes back to the basic fundamentals of physics and the collapsing of the wave function, right? How does the wave function know when to collapse?
Observation.
Do. Huh?
Observation?
What?
Observation?
Well, yeah, it has a sense of awareness. It observes you as you will observe it. And it's the functionality. There's a law within the universe that when two objects observe each other, they take form, they take shape. And so that is a sense of awareness on the side of a very fundamental particle in reality. And so the question is when does the configuration, the architecture, the intelligent design of those bases of matter come together to formulate something that's self-aware of itself? And that's the difference. Is where you become self-aware of yourself and you develop the ability to resonate with the ether and generate personality and consciousness and attributes.
Right. Okay, so how am I doing? Are we good?
If you can just talk lower, you'd be all right.
Okay.
Just don't get excited.
Oh, damn. Oh, great. All right, so basically what I've heard was there's a show on YouTube called Hacking Reality, and it basically starts with a crystalline pattern, which is like a self-repeating pattern. And they started showing us a checkerboard, then a cube, and then eventually they end up with this 8-dimensional crystal
Attributes.
of which all of reality is essentially assembled.
Okay.
And that crystal is tetrahedrons, I think it is, like a triangle pyramid.
Dodecahedron or
No,
a tetragrammatron?
Tetrahedron.
Tetrahedron? Tetragrammatron?
tetrahedron. Yeah, so there's little
Kabbalist
pyramids.
node I'm talking about.
It's a tetrahedron
basically,
is
like,
triangle.
But that's a type of a crystal because a crystalline pattern essentially just it rebuilds itself. That's how it grows. Is it just multiplies itself and it spreads.
Cool.
Yeah, it's the double intersecting tetrahedron, which forms the Star of David on a two-dimensional chart. On a three-dimensional chart, it's two pyramids intersected 180 degrees out of phase.
So my question is a coral reef similar to a crystal?
Probably in
sense?
some ways.
You know, I would say that's actually a great example because we're looking at crystals. We're going to get into the amazing properties of crystals, what crystals can do, and the types of things and the things that we've even experienced with them on the Redpill project. But coral reef is interesting because it is this type of organic stone or rock that is actually alive. And you would imagine, since it is being in water and crystals really formulated in water, most of them, is that this is an ancestor, right? Or a close cousin or relative to crystals in a sort. And I'm wondering if there's actually any connection there that, you know, because there's that in the kingdom of animals, right? In the kingdom of animals of things becoming non-alive to alive, there's that really gray area. There's that line that nobody knows where to draw it and where it really is. This is what we were talking about, Dimitri, last night in the sense of the molecular structure is where do you say the molecule becomes conscious or aware or alive, right? Is a protein alive? I mean, a protein reacts stimulated by its environment, right? It reacts stimulated to other enzymes and other proteins. You have DNA reacts. You have various functionalities of molecular biology, molecular chemistry that react to other things, but they're reacting to their environment in non-intelligent manners, but very cohesive.
Right.
So you got to wonder is where is that variation lies. And I think that crystals and coral reef would be placed on that pedestal. Now, I actually have some coral reef over here, but it's obviously not alive. It's sitting in my office.
Or is it
What's that?
or is it just less alive?
It's dormant.
Yeah, I don't know, but it sits right next to my crystals.
Weird.
Now,
Hey, cousin! Oh my God, family reunion.
this giant piece of selenite was sent to me by someone that really wanted me to have it, and I didn't know what it was. And I'm not really big into crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking it up, started researching it, and apparently there's hundreds of different types of crystals, and each of them have metaphysical properties as well as physical properties, which means that they work on a energy spiritual level. And from what I heard, like you said, if you sing to your crystals and you wrap a copper wire around them, they could actually conduct electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like those copper wrapped crystal things that people make.
Yeah,
So this right here, I know people can't see it right there. This is called Libyan desert glass. And a good friend out there in our audience sent this to me, which was really amazing because this is actually a very rare rock gem, if you want to call it that. The Libyan desert glass was actually created by a 29 million year old asteroid impact that caused temperatures of over 1600 degrees that basically turned the sand into this glass. And you can tell about it because it has this kind of yellowish hue to it. But every crystal in that sense has certain magical properties, and magical being science that we don't yet understand. And I look at it in the sense as it carries, they become a conductor, right?
Yes.
They become a conduit of
Yeah,
that
man.
which we seek to connect with. And so I wondered this, because we talked about water last night, which water, by the way, is, say it,
medium.
Crystal.
Water's crystal?
The hell do you think? Freeze it.
Look at like the way it shapes.
Yeah, freeze it.
Form.
Water literally is liquid crystal. Freeze
You
it.
could freeze water in any shape.
Yes.
I guess you could put a crystal in any shape too.
I guess you could grow it if you put like a
If you
path
water
for it
it.
to grow. Maybe.
So what if liquid form was really not liquid form, but really crystalline form, and that we just have certain solids on this planet that are crystalline in the solid state, which are actually, if you want to look at it, liquids, kind of like glass,
Right.
just slow moving.
One thing I know about crystals, like this one in particular, when we had a power outage and I had this flashlight. I was gonna go get it, but I could just explain it. And I shined the flashlight on the bottom of it, and the entire thing turned into like this bright lamp. Because like whereas the flashlight would just point one way, the crystal illuminated my entire room. It was insane.
Yeah. Well, so
You can make a good lamp with your big crystal.
Oh, absolutely. I got a salt lamp downstairs. So think about this, though, is if crystals are very similar to water in nature, I mean, they grow in water, then this could mean that water itself and crystals are very similar in characteristics, because I think that the properties of them both are very similar. I used to carry a stone around. A stone. It was, I think it was a hematite. And, no, it was a black soapstone. And anytime I got angry or mad, I would just transfer everything into it. Because it said that those stones, they absorb that energy and they transmute it into something usable by nature. And so they basically transmute the energy into something that nature can utilize. Right?
Like what?
Nice.
Well,
just
whatever form
like
of energy the nature needs. But they're basically conduits of transmutation. I think that's the best way to say it. The crystal is a conduit of transmutation.
So it used your anger and it made a hurricane somewhere.
No, it used my anger and made it love, probably. It made it gratitude. It made it happiness. It made it a natural vibration that the earth was missing. Because to the rock, to the stone, it's just energy.
It's raw energy, right?
It's just raw energy. Because you got to remember, is when energy is transferred from one medium to another. Remember when we talked about this during that 3-part video series? It's not transferred in the intentional field unless that is through conscious beings with the intent of being transferred that way. In very, very primordial infrastructures or structures like a crystalline structure of a rock or a crystal, when they absorb this, they can absorb it in the raw form, or they can absorb it in that form, but they will mitigate its response because maybe the rock doesn't feel emotion. So how does the rock understand emotion when I'm putting that emotion into it, right? It instead mitigates the energy because it's just energy. It's like electricity. It doesn't matter where the electricity came from, whether it was, oil-based or, natural gas-based or solar. It's just electricity for the rock or for the crystal.
There's a particular crystal that I'm like almost infatuated with, but it's super expensive, and it's actually very similar to what you're saying. It was a meteorite impact. Mm-hmm. Is it still too loud or what?
No, you're fine.
Okay, good. It was a meteor impact along the Molda River, I think, in Czechoslovakia, and it was 15 million years ago, I think. And basically what happened was it crashed, and then it molten everything, and whatever the properties of the Earth hardened into this moldavite. And moldavite is this green crystal, and there's different classes of it, like how pure or how clear it is. And they say that even people that aren't like resonant with crystals, they don't like essentially believe in it. If you hold it in your hand, you can feel the energy of the moldavite. And to those people that are like empathic and that they are sensitive to crystal energy, should stay away from it because it's too powerful. I had a little piece of it, and then it disappeared. Maybe my daughter put it somewhere. Maybe I did. I don't know. But they said that don't look for it because it went away, and it'll find you again if you need it or if it needs you. I don't know how that works, but it was
that moldavite. That moldavite's like sitting on your closet floor, like, damn you, Dimitri. You need to find me. It's so damn dark in here.
So different crystals are different things. Like the selenite I have here is supposed to clear your house of negative energy. And it's also supposed to protect you, and it's supposed to help you find your feminine side, or what is it? Yeah, I guess your feminine side.
Oh, it's working.
Yeah, it's working
Thanks.
for you.
Hey, look at my shirt and shit.
Rogue Gamer keeps on asking what shade of lipstick you have on.
It's called Moto Scooter.
Motor Scooter.
I have a high hemoglobin count, so my lips red.
I know. I'm just messing with
I'm
you.
like,
So
I'm like,
so this transitions into so this is the other part, because we're just talking about this, is that the shape and structure that crystals take on now has another significance, because we talked about this with water, that the information was actually held in the structure of water, not in the water molecules themselves. Therefore, the information within crystals would be held within the structure of the crystals, the resonance. And so I look at it like this, is maybe what's happening here is everything is a representation of the field, right? Everything is the field vibrating, and everything exists at a different density of the field vibration. Therefore, a liquid or a water has a lower containment of the field vibration, and so therefore it acts as a better medium between the multiple dimensions between the field, right? Like water does. Whereas a crystal has a more structured and higher vibrational resonance within the field, so it contains the field better and becomes a better conductor of energy and a better conduit of information.
there was I don't
I see
remember.
the correlation there.
Right.
Man, I wish I took notes during this stuff. Someone out there, like, take notes and send them to me afterwards. That'd be great.
There was a person, I don't remember the name, but I saw the article, and it was a legitimate article. It wasn't like Inquire or whatever. He used crystals to generate electricity in his house, and he had like these 3 giant, like I think it was selenites or something like that. And basically, the government came and just he disappeared, and all of his work disappeared. But he figured out essentially how to get energy, like electrical energy, from crystals using them, and he was either sound vibration or a combination of the two.
Chris,
Whoa.
go ahead.
I was just thinking of what?
No, go ahead.
That's crazy that got confiscated, but I like to think about ancient cultures that used talismans and whatnot, or had like armor with crystals, or carried them in their pockets, or they've been just valued for so long. You gotta wonder,
That's sigil-ish,
what they were,
right?
That is sigil-ish. That's exactly what a talisman is very similar to a sigil. And they're very representative of the containment of certain energy, especially protective spells.
Yeah,
right.
Man.
Right. So, like, you could essentially use a stone the way you could use a crystal. Like
Well,
the evil eye.
I disagree. And the reason I do is because of structure. Is if you break a stone down and you look at it molecularly, there is no organizational significance to it in the majority of stones, right? It's just kind of all over the place. It just kind of forms. But then crystals, there is a consecutive pattern played over and over and over and over again. And this is one of the reasons why this guy was able to take those crystals. And see, crystals have various different effects.
And properties.
One of them is, and Albert Einstein discovered this back in the early 1900s and actually won the Nobel Prize for that, is the piezoelectric effect. So the piezoelectric effect means that when I induce a mechanical strain onto a crystal, it produces an electrical current, and vice versa. When I induce an electrical current onto a crystal, it induces a mechanical strain, which means that it changes shape. So, well, guess what happens when we put a small voltage into a crystal? It starts to change shape. And so this means that if we pulse a voltage at the crystal starts to pulse. Well, guess what happens when the crystal starts to pulse and we have a pulse voltage going into it? It starts giving off radio frequencies. And this is actually in the olden days when you used to take a transistor radio and you used to sit there and turn that dial. What that dial was doing was taking that transistor voltage. So basically what you have is you have a base and emitter on a transistor. And I'm not going to go through transistor theory here, but you have a base and emitter. Is you always have a base voltage which is shunted to ground. And this is kind of like to keep the transistor and always in a certain variable state of 1 and 0. And so what happens is when your emitter gets a voltage on it, you have a binary 1 that goes through. Well, this voltage, transistor voltage, would go to your crystal and induce a minor strain. Now, here's the thing is when you're turning it, what's actually happening is it's sending pulses, rates of pulsations along that line of that voltage. So maybe 20,000 volts a second are switching on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Okay?
Yeah.
What that does is that induces a current into the crystal, and the current starts to vibrate and resonate. Now, here's the great thing, is that any frequency that comes in or goes out on that line would be picked up. This is the transistor radio. This is exactly how they worked and operated.
Yeah. Popular Mechanics had a crystal set in 1937.
You can still buy them today. Yeah, you can still buy them today.
Is there a correlation between the 4K crystal HD television and crystals, or is it just the name?
Well, you have plasma, you have LCD, liquid crystal display, and they utilize a synthetic crystalline structure that basically acts very similar to an LED, light emitting diode. And a light emitting diode is basically when you have you can do various things with transistors, but basically a transistor is utilized to control the flow of voltage and control the variation of voltage. And so on an LCD, on one little pixel on an LCD, you probably have 1 million transistors sitting behind that. And the 1 million transistors will induce various voltage states, which will produce various color orientations on that pixel. So the liquid crystal on that plasma screen is actually generating color from electricity that's induced into it. So they're electrochromatic.
It's kind of like how our eyes work, no?
Yeah, very similar to how our eyes work. Electromagnetic energy hits them, and then the rods and the cones in our eyes start stimulating, and they produce a secondary electrical current that flows backwards and tells our brain red, green, brown, black.
Right. That's great.
Don't ask me how I know all this.
I'm never not gonna.
Joke.
Stop joshing me, okay?
Joshopedia.
I was gonna say that the crystal that you have and the moldavite that I speak of are extraterrestrial. So they came from, they hitched a ride from somewhere else onto the Earth. So they obviously possess powers that are not of this Earth, metaphysical and physical.
Potentially, yeah. I think that's safe to say that they potentially have out of Earth energies attached to them.
Right. Moldavite is also known to keep extraterrestrial energies and beings here. So it's almost like a protective circle, like in the skeleton.
But is that from the moldavite and from its original place of origin, or is that from the intention that human beings directly give it?
Probably the latter.
And I think that everything that we deal with on this basis, in the sense of water, crystals, solids, or sigils, or talismans, is exactly this, which goes back to one word that not many people know, because I invented it. It's called psychogenetic. Now, what does psychogenetic mean?
You alter your genes
with your mind. 100%.
Spinoza, right?
No, Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza actually doesn't say it like this. He believes that your belief controls this functionality. But if you listen to what he says, that he says primarily that this is done through epigenetic controls, is that your environment controls certain functionalities known as epigenetic controls. These electromagnetic waves come into our body and influence our body to do one thing or another. But guess what? That influence is completely arbitrary to the set understanding of the belief. If your belief is aligned in 1 degree, it doesn't matter what the external inputs about this are. Joseph Murphy's book, Power of the Subconscious Mind, he gives an example. And he's talking about this Australian dude whose father's dying of lung cancer, terminal lung cancer. He just found out, got less than 4 weeks to live. So his father was a devout Catholic. And so he just got back from Rome right when he heard the news about his father, and he looks down and he sees a piece of wood on the ground. And he picks up the piece of wood, and he goes to the store, he polishes it up, it looks really old. He puts it into a necklace, and he encases it. He comes back and says, hey, look, I got this, and it's legitimate. This came from one of the high cardinals, and it was blessed by the Pope, and this was part of Jesus's cross, and it's supposed to have miracle healing properties. And the Father took it and prayed to it and prayed to it and wrapped it around his heart, and his lung cancer went away, and he lived for 15 years. Now here's the thing. Is obviously it was an external object given intention that was given to the Father, but ultimately it was his belief that transmuted the DNA, the energy within himself that healed himself. Nothing else.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the placebo. Or
well,
it is the placebo.
It is the placebo. It is the answer to the placebo. So, and actually instead of saying placebo now, we can actually say psychogenetic. But they don't want to do that because that implies that the mind has a certain power over the body. And we're supposed to be autonomous mechanical beings in this universe that were created by pure happenstance and miracles, right? Yeah. So they can't have that, the controlling institutions of this world. But in actuality, placebo simply means psychogenetic control. Whereas your belief structure, once it is aligned with your conscious thought, can change your complete biostructure. No joke, no lie. This is the secret behind magic and alchemy. It's all like psychogenetic.
Like you said before, a lot of people practice it without even knowing that they have it. I was thinking about it today, actually, and before I had met any of you guys, before Jay reached out to me, I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder what I was listening to a podcast by Mike Rowe. It's like The Way I Heard It, it's called. And he does advertisements for this job seeker or whatever. And one of the women wanted to be a journalist. And I thought to myself, I was like, I wonder what it would like to be a journalist. I'm going to try my hand at journalism. And then a couple months later, a month later, here we are journalizing about crystals. Weird. But I really, when I thought about it, I really wanted to believe that I would do it, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is just, I'm just going to veer off real quick. So there's this one dude on TikTok, and he said this. He's like, whenever you're in a bad mood, or if you're ever in a crappy mood, think to yourself, 6 months from now or 1 month from now, what do I want to remember from today? Like from this moment, I'm going to remember this moment 6 months from now. What am I going to remember about this moment? And if you think that you're going to remember happiness, your mood today changes. Because you're going to, you know what I mean? You're following me here? So it's just basically the pattern that's going to unfold in a crystalline structure, I guess. Because I'm going to remember from this day in the future that I'm going to be happy, that I was happy. And then all of a sudden he goes, my mood just goes away. Everything's fine.
Well, but that is that the process that works for everybody? No. But that is simply the psychogenetic process that he believes in.
It would theoretically would work because...
That's right. It would work if you believed in it. If you believe it to, that's right. It's like that one day when you did that TikTok, and you told everybody you rung the bell.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's the same thing. It's psychogenetic. Now they're going through their mind. What am I going to remember? What am I going to right? And many of those people probably had epiphanies.
They did.
Because it was a basis of belief. It was psychogenetic. And so we have to understand that if the whole universe is conscious, right? And as a conscious being, what are we doing with the universe? We're producing relationship with everything.
Just resonating.
Just resonating. Dude, that is a great shirt. Just resonating.
Just resonating. That is a good shirt. Dude. What'd you do this weekend? I resonated.
What are you up to? What's up? Just resonating. Dude, a lot of people had a lot to say about that frequency when you hit that, what was it? Tuning? A little tuning?
Tuning fork, yeah.
Thing?
Or just a bell?
Not even. For me, it was a washer from a railroad track. I even started making another one. I have a railroad spike, and I just got to polish it because it's a little, it sounds a little sharp. So I got to make it on tune. But Josh is absolutely right. And people are like, and I said it, I like to call it the cavalry.
Yeah.
And I mentioned in the video that if you deny it, it's just going to amplify, which is kind of like a, what the fuck? So some people were mad that I didn't have their consent, but I was like, guys, you've signed up on the app. That's your consent right there. I got you. And so many people, dude, they were like, oh my God, I had vivid dreams. The best thing happened to me. one guy said, like, there's a couple of people actually said they went to the bathroom, which I thought was a joke, but like there was a bunch. They have like 100,000 comments. I'm never gonna read them all, but like, it's crazy. But I love it because.
So what did you say to them?
I said that. Well, it started with me being familiar, because a lot of people tell me that they see me in their dreams. Mm-hmm. And actually, somebody from this platform had told me after the show, they messaged me on TikTok. They're like, "Wow, you were in my dream, you SOB. Like, what the hell?" And I don't know this. Just people call me a dream walker. I'm like, what does that even mean?
I
like,
called you a dream walker the other day. I was like, what are you, dream walking?
So I said, if you were born on this earth, you've seen my face before, and this isn't the first time, and you know who I am. And he goes, what I've been doing is I've been opening ports of trust with your subconscious. And although this sounds like a regular tone, and I'm like, I just unlocked something in your brain. Yeah. And I was like, the way I wrote this program is that if you deny it, it'll amplify. I like to call it the cavalry. It's about fucking time. That's it. That's it. What's the cavalry? What is this? And I was like, you are the cavalry.
That's right. It's time to wake up.
It's exactly what.
So that's pretty. That's pretty cool, man. Because it just goes to signify the power that words have. Now, what are words? So this is because we're talking about crystals, we're talking about healing, and now we're in the psychogenetics. And really, I think that crystals are a life form that we have a relationship with. And they can hold and contain, transfer, and transmute energy and information. Right? Now, that's pretty cool. But here's the thing is, we can have a relationship with crystal, and we can utilize them for these things because they are more than welcoming us to do that. But also we can do these things just within our own mind because we are very crystalline within our own structures. We have very many advanced capabilities that these same crystals have within our own body, within our own mind, and with our own energetic grid structure, if you want to call that, in our own reality. And so when we start thinking about this, what is a word?
Symbol of intention, sigil, essentially.
It is. It's a auditory sigil, is it not? It's a traveling longitudinal or compression wave that is representative of intention, of focus, of emotion, right? Of intuition, of connectedness, of interconnectivity of beings, but also of information containment and transmutation.
And there can be certain words that are just symbolic of one type of intent, and there's other ones that could obviously be different types of intent. Like when you say something like murder, it usually means a negative, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Usually.
It's hard to use, that in a positive sense. But if you
I murdered a sandwich for lunch.
So, yeah. Do you guys know who Rudyard Kipling was?
No.
Rudyard Kipling wrote the Jungle Book.
Oh,
I love that guy.
Okay. He has a quote out there. And think about this quote intensely.
Okay.
Words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind, and I am but a dealer in words.
He said he's not the dealer of words?
He says, and I am but a dealer of words.
100%.
I know. It's 100% true. So ask yourself why words are the most powerful drug. Now, what is a drug? How do you define a drug?
Your state. Words
there you go. State-altering substance. Totally. So words are the most state-altering substance known to mankind. And I am but a dealer of those substances that alter the state.
Dang. This man he seems like a smart man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
I want to be like you.
But so think about that, because what is it? What is a word in actuality? It's a thought made manifest.
Yeah, it's an instant manifestation.
That's right. So thought exists on the ethereal plane, on the non-tangible plane. It exists. It resonates. It's there. But remember, we were just talking about the field and how the field vibrates and resonates, and water maybe resonates with the field a little less, and this is why it's a good conduit between the multiple functions, multiple sides of the field. Whereas a crystal takes form and structure, so it resonates very, very pertinent with the field here in this dimension, in this reality. Well, thoughts basically transgress that veil and exist on both sides of that field. They exist on the counter space and the spatial field, right? Which means that in this reality, right here, right now, words are the solidification
Right. I was just going to say that.
of thoughts.
It like locks it in.
Right, the solidification of thoughts, because we're actually turning it into tangible vibrational, measurable energy here in this reality, which then has an immediate effect.
Yeah.
And then when you hear words, it goes back into your brain, back into thought.
That's right. And exactly.
That's why it's different to read text messages versus having a phone conversation, because sometimes you could take words out of context.
Absolutely, which I've done.
Because they're not said, they're projected in this. Yeah, I mean, a text is something literal, but it's not substantial. Like, it's not a vibration that your ears are actually receiving. It's something that you're reading, and then you're not hearing it, so it's still kind of like a thought. So I was thinking, like, maybe if Josh and I or whoever wanted to do remote viewing, or like the exercise that we did the other day, would it be stronger if we were both sitting in a body of water? Like if we were both in a pool,
I bet it would be.
would it be amplified, right? Or more clear? Because it would carry that notion. Because you could hear thoughts, obviously. Like, but you and I proved that we could comprehend each other's intent without saying anything. But so that's the so certain people, I think all people can communicate on the ethereal plane. They just don't realize it because they're so used to hearing words and being like sort of not dumbed down, but I mean, I kind of just like veered the other way.
They ignore it, or
right, exactly. They don't need it, so they ignore it. Exactly.
I could tell, man. I am a people watcher, and I think you're right. I think everybody has that inherent ability, but that they just don't acknowledge it.
So if anybody wants to take these Insomniac hours that we do here, these late nights, and make a book out of it, let me know. I'd be interested. Because we got some really good stuff here. Like, I'm like looking at this stuff going, man, like these are things that you don't typically think about on a daily basis, but they start to make a lot of sense when you talk to them with two other people who understand the language that you're talking in.
That's what the biggest part of it is. I could sit here talking to myself all day, but I'll never see it from the perspective that you do, and vice versa.
Right. Because
someone could, whatever their life was up to this point, they could be looking at things from that perspective that you've never even understood. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like that word game that you have to make a word out of 5 letters, and you're sitting there for 2 hours and you can't do it, and then you show it to your friend. And it's like, oh, play. Oh, how did you do that? Because it's just a matter of perception. And that's when you do this, when you kick back ideas back and forth, they like the stepping stones become larger and larger, and then you could essentially come up with something really, really phenomenal. And
yeah, they crystallize.
Yeah, monumental.
Well,
just because
I need to get my hands on some of these fancy crystals.
My hand on my selenite to protect me from the negative energy you're sending. What do you think the most?
Go ahead.
What do you think the most powerful crystal is?
I wouldn't have a clue. Probably your third eye.
There are crystals in your third eye, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're liquid crystals in your third eye.
What about the crystal skulls?
There's liquid chromatic crystals in your third eye. They're actually light sensing and bending and projecting crystals in your third eye. Very similar to the rod and cones in your eyes, just a little modified.
Even if it's calcified?
Yeah, they're still there.
Huh.
Yeah, see, like a lot of people ask me that, like, what do you eat? Do you like you have all these perceptions, and like, what do you eat? Your diet? I'm like, I brush with fluoride toothpaste, even though I know I shouldn't. I eat whatever the hell I want. I don't have hair to like, because the hair amplifies.
Well, because the fluoride, the toothpaste.
Yeah. I'm still receiving messages. I'm still good. I don't think it's got a lot to do with it.
How conductive is hair?
Well, hair, like, it's a receptor. It's like a tentacle
it's an antenna.
Yep.
Yeah, essentially. The Native Americans, when they cut their hair in the army, they started losing their tracking powers.
What are whiskers on a cat?
They test the width where it can go.
Really? Is that what you think they are?
They're hands.
Whiskers?
Yeah. What are the whiskers in a cat actually doing?
Sensing minute vibration.
There you go. They're actually utilized for hunting. And the whiskers are very sensitive to vibrational compressional sound waves that are moving. So it's an extension of the ear, the whiskers are, that pick up those minute vibrations that the ear can't necessarily hear.
Their face must tickle a lot.
Huh?
Their face must tickle.
Yeah, their face must tickle a lot.
You got like a snake tongue too?
That's why they don't like you messing with them.
Mm.
But you notice that a lot of the cat's whiskers now are falling off because they don't utilize them. They don't hunt anymore.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a cat person.
I had 3 cats. Out of the 2 cats that I have, a lot of their whiskers fall out all the time, continuously.
Wow. We had one cat, but it lives outside. It used to fight other cats and stuff. It was a brawler cat. I'm sure he still has his whiskers. But all right. So then, like, what about a snake tongue? Is that the same idea then?
I think so.
Because they can't see too far, so they stick out their tongue to feel around, I guess, for stuff.
I think so.
How do you decalcify your pineal gland?
Well, that's a completely different show and episode. We'll do a third eye.
Yeah, I think so too. Transistors and pineal glands next.
Yeah. But, well, in actuality, what your pineal gland is the transistor, right? The transistor of your radio. If you want to look at it like that.
My twisted transistor.
It's got so many different things, though, the pineal gland. Like, it's the third eye. It could perceive when Shiva opened up his pineal gland, it burned down worlds.
So what does it do? It's a radio dial that you can attune to different various resonating frequencies in the universe. It's a transistor.
Such a fate is such an ironic SOB sometimes. Like, oh sure, you can do whatever you want. How though? Where's the dial? Where's the
discovery? That's why self-discovery is paramount in this universe. That's why you must discover yourself, because once you discover yourself, you discover all the cool things that you brought with you.
I'm just a guy that's dinging bells, waking people up.
I like that saying. You must first discover yourself before you can discover all the cool stuff you brought with you.
Put that on a t-shirt too.
That is a good one, huh? Man, I'm just knocking them out tonight.
Resonating all the shirts.
Just resonate. Swoosh.
Right. How do you resonate? Man, so like I've seen people. I've had an ex-girlfriend that was really into crystals, and she was. Let me tell you, she was into crystals. Like, she had a crystal everything. She had this and that opal, like selenite, moldavite, magnetite. This. She had watermelon rocks. She was just, and she wasn't different from anyone else other than
they're my friends.
Yeah. And then there's the trend on TikTok now when they put the crystal on the thing and they do the little push and they push the telekinesis push of the crystal, which is I think is BS.
They're BS. They're BS.
It's they're micro muscle movements in your finger that you don't see and you don't feel, but your finger actually will push it off by itself if you think about it, because like the way I forgot what it's called. There's basically micro muscle movements. That's what it is.
I believe it.
Just have them do it live.
They have. I've seen it live.
I haven't.
Yeah,
but like just like this. I'll do it right now. I'll do it with this lighter. It's not a crystal. It's just a lighter. And then like I won't move I already feel it.
I like obsidian.
I see what you're talking about. Obsidian's cool. It's a great glass.
Yeah, I like moldavite. I'll go for the strongest stuff there is. Like, give it to me. Let's go. And they say the heart chakra, when you walk around with it, stuff will just happen to you. But no one really explains what kind of stuff. Like,
now I'm gonna go buy moldavite. Jeez,
it's expensive.
Moldavite, really?
It's pricey because it's gonna go extinct soon because it's only on the bank of that one river where the meteor hit.
What?
And there's different classes of it. So there's like a foggy moldavite, and then there's the good stuff is like this emerald kryptonite looking like thing. Oh, there it goes. Neither of you were looking, but it's okay.
Damn it.
I think most of magic is just sleight of hand.
Well, you can buy it on Etsy for cheap.
It's probably not moldavite, it's probably like broken glass.
Natural moldavite.
And then there's rock tumbling, right? What's that? Rock tumbling
That's
is
pretty cool. I did that when I was youngin.
What's rock tumbling?
You put
rock tumbling is. Go ahead.
You put rocks into a drum, and the drum spins with a little motor, and you put an abrasive stone or sand in there or grit, and all the rocks just polish each other.
Huh.
Or gems or whatever.
Well,
You
that's
come out
pretty
like
cool.
cool looking.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, they look really cool when they come out. Like, there's a lot of videos on TikTok and YouTube that people do this, and like the end results are phenomenal. They're just a bunch of rocks, and then they come out. Some of them actually have like, I guess, minerals or deposits in them that have like different colors and
Like a stripe.
yeah,
Whatever.
Rock
very, very.
cleaning.
I think my feminine side's coming out too much. To
Oh
sell
my
like that.
god!
They're just so pretty after.
This is a cool conversation. I really enjoyed this because, this is reality. Is as much as people don't want to accept it, is that we are interconnected through a field, and this field connects everything existent in the universe. And I think that the level of consciousness that everything has is reminiscent of the level of relationship that you can have with it, if that makes sense. Whereas, I can't make an atom move, but I can communicate with something that's organic and make it influence it to do certain things. And this is what was meant by George Lucas in The Force, with talking about midi-chlorians and the Force, is that you don't tell the Force to do anything. You don't create the Force to do anything. You influence the Force. You ask the Force. And it's
That's what they say.
Yeah.
They say telekinesis is that too. You don't will it to move. You partner up with it, and then you kind of like use it as one of your appendages.
Right. But it's only through trust, which goes back to that one conversation we had one day where this is a trust-based universe.
Dude.
Yeah, that's why I think that video might have worked so well, actually, because my intentions weren't bad, and I was just trying to literally.
You hypnotized them.
Did I though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much.
They trusted you. You gave them. You gave them an induction.
Yes.
You gave them an induction technique, and then you gave them a command.
Their subconscious can't ignore that shit.
Nope.
And that's what I said
Excuse
too.
me. Sorry.
No, it's
classic 101 hypnosis.
Wow.
Is you have a trust-based system, you produce an induction, and then you give the command.
And the funny thing is that I told them that I've been building ports of trust, but some of these people have never seen me before.
Dude. About the dream thing, John has a really great psychic ability, and he said that he woke up from a nap earlier, and that Tumultuous was in that dream helping him round up his cats.
Did you have a dream about cats the other day, dude?
I had a dream about cats last night.
Did you have a dream about cats, Tumultuous?
I don't remember.
You need to start remembering your dreams.
Okay.
I had a dream about my cat, and it was like I was in a yard, and he was antagonizing a bunch of dogs.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Maybe my cat's about to die.
No, he's saying that. What the? It's someone just said something stupid, but no. He's saying that you showed up in his dream. This isn't the first person that's saying that you showed up in the dreams.
Hundreds of people. Hundreds.
I saw a bunch, dude.
I bet you're just sitting there in your dreams, just like looking over someone, like, "What's up, dude? Cool, man. I wanted to come say hi. Told you I was going to. All right, man. See ya." And they're sitting there going, "What the fuck?"
This is the craziest thing, though, is that their dreams are their dreams. It's their brain, their minds that's creating it. So they're essentially. I think so. Maybe. I mean, I would imagine it. That
I disagree.
You think you can invade people's dreams?
Well, how about this?
Block you.
How about this? And this is what I want to kind of bring about in context. Is we all exist in this field, right? This field penetrates all dimensionality in the universe. We know that in this solid, solidified state, that there's two realms that we can get into. One is the dream state, and one is the astral state. But these are both intermediaries to the spirit world, to the world beyond, right?
But you have the awake.
The astral realm isn't yours. Yeah.
But so the astral realm isn't yours. But guess what? The dream world isn't yours. This is what you want to know the difference between the two is?
But what about the waking state? That's a third one.
Well, the waking state. That
Is
would be
that
very
yours?
reminiscent to the sleeping state. Sleeping and dream are both, or sleeping and wake are both reminiscent of the duality of the human body of existence. And then you have the lucid dreaming state, right? And then the astral realm state. These are the veils between the spirit world, which is outside of that, which encompasses it. So this is what I want you to understand. The astral realm is the veil that encompasses before the spirit world, which is all conscious entities connected.
Like the lobby.
The dream world, when you are lucid, is the veil of collective human consciousness interconnected.
Oh, so the dream world is the lobby, and then like the astral is
There
your
you go.
room.
Yeah, no, so the dream. So how about this? Is that the dream? Your lucid dream is kind of
Right.
like the hotel where all human beings are hanging out. The
Right.
astral realm is the city. Okay, the spirit world is the universe.
Dude, I didn't sleep a lot last night, and I was very tired today. And I took a 15-minute power nap midday just to get some quick energy. I went straight into REM, had vivid dreams, and then woke up. I went back to sleep for 5 more minutes, immediately went into REM. And I remember my dream was somebody walking straight up to my face and being like, "Hey, I gotta tell you something," and then told me something. And then I woke up and I was like, "Dang it, what the hell did they tell me? What the fuck?"
Nobody remembers.
Sorry, language, but yeah.
No. You just described like 100 of my comments. I saw you in my dream. You were telling me something important. Don't remember what it was. Great.
I don't know if it was you.
No, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't.
But
'Cause
yeah.
you could have remembered everything.
I don't know. You tell me, Dreamwalker.
The first message I got that actually came through is that somebody said that I looked them in the face or in the eye, and I said that humanity is key. Humanity is key, and then I vanished. Somebody else says I kicked a door in, and then I kicked them in the chest through a wall or into a wall, and I told them to stop it, and then I bounced. Like apparently I'm doing all of this traveling. I don't remember any of this. And there's also women that are telling me like, "Hey, Astral was fun last night, huh?" And I'm like, "What?"
I get that too. I'll get that too. And you know what? I'll be like, "Damn, why didn't I remember that one?" No,
And you know what the
I'm
funniest
joking.
thing
I'm
is?
joking. I'm joking. But no, it's like, wait, I don't know. What are you talking
The
about?
funniest thing is that it only happens on nights I sleep. Like there's nights I sleep very, very little and I don't dream. But like the nights that I like have a good night's sleep, I'll wake up and it's like, oh my god. Da, 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 da.
So,
I'm like,
so
is
you
this
need to do
weird?
an induction before you go to sleep. So you get yourself into your pre-hypnagogic state. So you're relaxed, mentally aware state, and you say, when I go to sleep tonight, I am going to dream, and when I wake, I will remember those dreams, and I will remember my lucidity within those dreams.
I don't know if I want to. What if I'm just like
You're gonna
this?
be
What if
waking
I'm-
up being like, "Fuck, I'm so tired, man. I was all over the place.
I did 1,000 visits.
Get 1,000 visits, man."
I showed up. This guy's the Mothman. I scared the crap out of his kid. Like, just for fun. It's bullshit.
Me and the Shadow Man, we hung out.
Dude, who knows? Who knows?
Did you notice the correlation between when we mentioned the Shadow Man to Robert Wagner, and his
Yeah.
perspective on it was completely different than Heidi Hollis?
Yeah, I
What was
forget
that?
exactly what he had said.
He said there are archetypes of your own mind created within your own mind that basically suppressed emotions, memories, or something of that nature, and that it's best to deal with them. But he also did talk about the aspect of other things being able to enter your dreams, right? So,
Yes.
we can't rule out that. But it was interesting that he
He had an
talked about shadow
interesting
people like that. Yeah, he did.
Holographic universe is the same thing about poltergeists. He said it's not a ghost; it's you manifesting that action. So he said,
There's certain parts about that book I disagree with, and that would be one of them. I do believe that certain entities attach to certain people.
okay.
But
I'm with it. I believe it.
Yeah.
He just said that when he was like in a good mood, his socks would be like disarrayed or whatever. When he was in a bad mood, like the effects would be worse. Like shit would break, fall.
I'll tell you
Pineapple
one thing.
appear out of nowhere.
For at least the last year, I can tell you I have felt not alone.
Was it like the pineapple thing? Was that like recent?
No, that was like 10 years ago. But like not alone, but like just followed by or just looked over after.
Is it dark or no?
No. Far from it. It's like I'm like sitting here going, man, come on out, talk to me, like hit me up, man, I'm waiting, you know. But whatever it is, it's like I think it's the same entities that I've seen before over and over and over again. But they're waiting for me to figure something out or learn something that I did not know before contacting me again.
Is it you, or is it the entity that you saw the tall?
Yael. I don't know. It's what it feels like it is. It feels like it's that. It's like, how about this? Whenever I walk in my garage, I always feel there's gonna be someone staring at me in the door. Whenever I walk,
scary.
Huh? That's scary?
To me.
Well, it's scary, but when you get in there, the energy isn't scary.
Okay.
So fear is simply those things that are undefined within your mind.
Right.
So if you define them, you take the power away from them and you empower yourself. Yeah. So fear is something that, I mean, I remember getting up on top of a tall building. Someone told me to jump up on the ledge and look over the side, and I couldn't do it. I was like shaking, trembling. And really? I literally physically could not do it, but I could dip my head over and look down. Right? But, you know, that's a different type of fear. That is not fear of not knowing. That's fear of not trusting your own body.
Right.
Or fear of not trusting someone else to pack your parachute. Right?
Right.
So in fear of not trusting my own body, what I mean by that is I've broken my knee twice. Oof. And so if I got up on a ledge, my fear would be is I roll my ankle or I bust my knee and I fall. And so that's a fear which is undefined in my mind because I don't trust my leg to that degree. That was then. Now I absolutely do because my leg is completely healed. I actually mentally healed my leg from 2015 to today. What I did is I just started running 30 miles a week, and I just went through the pain, just kept on going through the pain. Next thing I know, it stopped hurting. So basically what happened, I'll give you guys an example. This is psychogenetics right here, 101. I went to, what are they? Stem cell therapy people. So by the way, I'm a veteran. I have VA benefits. I have this all documented. I have absolutely no cartilage in my left knee. It's bone on bone. And so I go to this stem cell therapist, and he basically shows me the x-rays of bone on bone, right? And not only that, as part of my femur, called your osteocondyle, the bulb that comes out, half of that is sheared off with no cartilage. So it's bone on bone with half of my osteocondyle gone. So that means that my knee can buckle like that really easy because it's missing part of the osteocondyle that fits in the socket. So I go there and he's like, man, you need stem cells. We need to regrow that cartilage. You're just going to have pain your whole life. And at the time I was having pain. I couldn't walk. I couldn't run. I was a lot heavier than I am now. And, I started getting into a lot of the Joe Dispenza stuff. And I said, you know what? Let's just heal my leg. And so I saw a movie. Do you know what movie it was?
No.
Misery?
Doctor Strange.
Oh, right. Yeah, you say, yeah.
One of my favorite all-time characters. So I saw Doctor Strange. I'm like, done. So I just went and I started running. And running sucked. I mean, I'd run, walk, right? But I'd do 30 miles a week. Just made sure I did 30 miles a week. Next thing I know, the pain in my knee, gone. Non-existent. Completely just gone. Still bone on bone, but guess what? Doesn't hurt. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect my performance. Occasionally, I'll have like a little bit of pain in the side because I got bone fragment in there, but it's only when I think about it.
Oh.
But like,
I have a separated shoulder. I'm about to start doing that too.
Do it. Don't even go in for surgery, man. You can heal your body.
Oh no, I'm not going. No, it doesn't hurt. I'm good. It's just like I need to do like physical therapy to get back into full like motion.
And a lot of the stuff, a lot of the damage that we bring on our own body, a lot of the pain and stuff like that is honestly, it's not doing what we know we need to do. And that holds a lot of repressed energy. For instance, weight gain, muscle degradation, injuries flaring up. How many times have you told yourself, I got to go to the gym, or I got to go for a walk after work, or I need to go for a run, but you just keep on procrastinating. Then you start to feel old and decrepit. And the psychological aspect of it is what causes all of that to happen.
Oh, trippy.
But you're perpetuating that.
Think
into
about
your
this.
Reality.
Thoughts are things. Thoughts create biological and bioelectrical functions. Do they not? That's psychogenetics. So thoughts create So Joe Dispenza says, can your thoughts change your mood? Can your thoughts make you angry? Can your thoughts make you mad? So therefore, your thoughts can make you happy and they can make you healthy. Can your thoughts make you sick? Absolutely. Then they can make you healthy. Can your thoughts get you injured? Can they produce an injury? Absolutely. Anxiety, all types of different things. Respiratory distress. So that means they can make you healthy. And all that is psychogenetic expression. That is your mind transforming biochemistry and bioelectric and biochemical signals, which transform the subsection of your DNA to a various expression which is beneficial to the organism. This is exactly what we were designed to do. Ba-boo!
Cool.
Very cool. And so maybe we should talk more about that in another show. Do a whole show on psychogenetics and maybe find some type of another person, a guest, some type of expert in that field to come on. That'd be awesome. I got a few in mind that I'd like to reach out to.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we should bring some on. Very cool. Thanks for joining us, guys. This was an awesome conversation.
Thank you.
This was freaking fantastic. I love talking about this stuff. I could do this every night for at least an hour. But everybody out there, don't forget, if you guys are able to, My Patriot Supply, you can see them linked up below, plus multiple other types of stuff. Check us out at redpills.tv. Please go on over to the shows tab or go to the host tab. Visit Vince, visit Dimitri. Check out their profiles there. If you're able to support them, there's links linked up right in there for that. If you're not on the social Red Pill, go join us over at redpills.tv/social. And if you do get a subscription on there, it's free to join. But if you do get a subscription, let me know which one of these guys right here that you want to support, Vince or Dimitri or both of them, and we'll get that all taken care of for you guys. Much love. God bless. Take care. We'll see you guys tomorrow night with another episode of Insomniac Hour. Take care, guys.
Good night.
Bye.